Tonight, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark get the drama popping for the new WNBA season off early, and pro-black simp Ryan Clark crashes out over the Keishas and Queens yet again. Also, Van Lathan does some super cyan level simping on a new podcast with FS1, or better known as Freak Show One's very own in-house 304, Joy Taylor. All that and more on episode number 125 of Up to Speed with Trip Simpson. We'll be right back.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Up to Speed with Trip Simpson. I am your host, Trip Simpson, in the building.
And you gonna get off his corners? You gonna leave his people be? Or you the one that's gonna find yourself a new plug?
You don't mean that shit?
The fuck I don't. I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
All right, and before we get this live stream started today, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, as normal, we got to handle business. Let's get it.
Family moving up in the business. I know you're going to look after family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
That's right, I am not invisible, so do me a favor if you're watching live on X, YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. Hit that like button for me. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. And if you're on YouTube, tap that notification bell 2 times and select all. All right. Let's get the show on the road. So tonight, unfortunately, we're going to have to grill the Keishas and the Queens again. It's been a crazy week for them. We got into the whole Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez case last week, and this week it seems as if the Queens have lowered the bar for decency even further. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the show. First up, what do we have? Yes, we got to talk about this Lululemon situation. Now, this happened about a week or two ago. And I got a video, and it was taken from at a Lululemon somewhere in America. I'm not sure. Looked an awful lot like Detroit. I could be wrong, but it definitely was giving me Detroit vibes. Also, before we get into that, I want to first read this article from January or March, something like that, that talks about some of the comments that the founder of Lululemon made about the brand and what type of people he thinks should be shopping in stores. Now, I understand fully what he was saying, but somehow, some way, the left-leaning liberal mainstream media turned the issue turned this into an issue, and actually, they actually tried to get this man canceled. But anyways, let's get into the article. All right, 1 second. All right, here we go. All right. Lululemon controversy over certain customers' comment explained. All right, so the founder of Lulu, founder and former CEO Chip Wilson once again faces backlash over comments suggesting that not everyone is cut out for the retail brand. Athletic apparel company Lululemon is facing backlash after founder and former CEO Chip Wilson's recent comments that certain customers should be discouraged from shopping at its stores. In a new interview with Forbes, the 68-year-old disparaged the retailer's advertising, calling the models in Lululemon's ads unhealthy, sickly, and not inspirational. Saying that it's important to be clear that you don't want certain customers coming in. It isn't the first time that Wilson, who hasn't been affiliated with the company since 2015, has faced criticisms for his remarks about who's best suited to wear Lululemon's high-end athleisure and who isn't. In 2013, the founder came under fire after saying that some women's bodies just actually don't work in Lululemon's yoga pants during an interview on the Bloomberg show, Street Smart, drawing ire and outrage from many of Lululemon's customers. Wilson's latest comments, in which suggest that Lululemon is trying to become like the Gap, and expresses his distaste over what he calls Lululemon's whole diversity inclusion thing, have once again stirred up controversy and are leading some to call for a boycott of the brand. Now, let me hold right there. Why would you people call for a boycott of the brand? He's not even affiliated with the brand anymore. What is the brand going to do? He's free to say whatever he wants. He founded the company. He was the CEO. He's no longer affiliated with the company. What is a boycott going to do? Anyways, also says, here's what to know about the controversy surrounding Wilson, as well as what Lululemon had to say to Today.com in response to the backlash. Born in California, Wilson spent his childhood in Calgary, Alberta, before relocating to Alaska, where, according to his website, the entrepreneur worked on the Alaskan pipeline. Wilson then received his BA in economics and worked as an economist while establishing his first company, West Beach, a skate, snowboard, and surf shop. After selling the business in 1997, Wilson founded Lululemon. According to his memoir, the story of Lululemon was inspired to start the company by his love of yoga and the belief he could create a perfect athletic garment for women. Now, we're not going to get into all that. You guys get the point. There's a certain type of person that he wants at Lululemon. Okay? And, the article basically said he's not into the whole DI stuff. So there we have it. I think it's clear what he was trying to say. Lululemon is for certain types of people. Basically, it's for physically and mentally healthy people who don't mind spending a few extra dollars for luxury brand athletic wear. That's pretty much what he was saying. And they literally tried to cancel this man for this. Now, it turns out maybe the shit he said had some validation about a certain group of people. Okay? Now, just about a week ago, this video of a bunch of Keishas in a Lululemon surfaced and started going viral all over social media. TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram. Needless to say, his point was well proven. Okay? His point was well proven that any and everybody does not need to be in Lululemon. All right? Give me a second. Let's get to that video. All right, hold up real quick. Where's it at? Here we go, right here. Check this out. Check this out. All right.
Put some Lulu on his butt. Fuck a strand, we getting money. Fresh to death when I pop it.
Let me turn the music off before I get a copyright strike. All right. So we'll just show the dancing. Check this out. It's about 7 or 8 of these chicks in the Lululemon, people trying to shop, minding their business. Then they just bust out and start twerking everywhere. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right, so y'all get the point, right? All right, now, before I give my thoughts on this video, right, I want to first say that this is not an indictment on all black women. However, there are far too many of you who excuse or brush off this type of behavior. There are too many of you who excuse or brush off this type of behavior. And we are pretty much at the point now where it's out of control and it's starting to affect the narrative of all of you as a whole. Okay? I keep warning y'all about this shit, but it always falls on deaf ears. What you are seeing right now is the active deconstruction of the black woman's image. And it's the black woman who's doing it and co-signing it. Similar to what we saw in the early 90s with gangster rap and black men. I just talked about this shit last episode or a couple episodes ago. And now we can see in real time how the women are falling for the same trick. See, black women, these are the consequences of having Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla represent you as a group in political functions, okay? Their behavior is now the standard for black women's behavior. At least that's what the mainstream media's narrative is. Hold on, y'all. Jesus Christ. Getting a call. All right, my bad. Good gracious. Let me get the music back on. All right, my bad. That was my wife calling, all in the middle of my shit. All right? But anyway, basically, as I was saying, that's the standard for black women's behavior. At least that's what the mainstream narrative is. Okay? And y'all wonder why people are reluctant to deal with you. And when I say deal with, I'm talking about on all levels. From relationship-wise to professionally, people don't want to risk having to deal with this. They don't want to have to risk having to deal with this. And this is why a lot of times when you guys start complaining about black women not being wanted in certain places, well, this is why certain people treat you like this. Because y'all go in front of places where everybody's at. It's not like y'all just going in black folks function and twerking and acting a fool, you know, because then at least you could kind of hide it a little bit. But y'all go in front of every other group and show out and act a damn fool and then wonder why nobody wants to put you in certain places. You wonder why people are starting to get black queen fatigue. I mean, this is insane. All right, I got another video for you, as a matter of fact. I got another video for you. And this is from another Lululemon. I don't know what song that is. Let me get that off. But here you go. Here's a chick just straight up stealing out of a Lululemon. I don't know what city this is. I don't know why y'all keep choosing Lululemon. But here we go. Here we have it. Look at this. Let's go back. Bonnet on. Pajamas. That look like an orange wig under an orange bonnet. This is insane. This is insane. This is insane. Like it or not, this is the narrative. This is the narrative. See, y'all spend so much time hating good men like the late great Kevin Samuels, who tried to warn and help you. And you don't call out the women like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Glorilla, the cast of Baddies East and West, Real Housewives of any black town. You name any show on TV. Any show on TV, and y'all are all showing y'all ass. But you don't call that out. You call out the people who are trying to help you. Shit, God bless her. Even, what's her name? Claire Huxtable, Felicia Rashad. She tried to warn y'all a few weeks ago on the Breakfast Club. She tried to give y'all some game, and y'all destroyed her in the comment section. Anybody who tries to tap you on the shoulder and snap you back to reality, you immediately go for their heads. Why? Why do you do that? Here's my theory. My theory is you guys are so punch drunk on the left leading media and the fraudulent social media influencers filling your heads with fictional stats that you aren't ready for the truth. You aren't ready for the truth because the actual statistics that matter for black women, socioeconomically, are sobering, to say the least. You guys are behind in every relevant category except student loan debt per capita. But they manipulated that statistic and told y'all that y'all was the most educated, which is an outright lie. By percentage, 30% of black women have a bachelor's degree or higher, whereas 56.7% of Asian women and 50% of white women have a bachelor's degree or higher. When it comes to men, 28% of black men hold a bachelor's degree or higher. So y'all got us by like 1%. And for white men, it's 52%. For Asian men, it's 60%. So how in the hell would you consider yourselves the most educated? All right, and we haven't even gotten to the degrees that actually matter. Or we haven't gotten into who out earns who regardless of degree. Okay, and I'm not saying this to disparage you. I'm not saying this to disparage you at all. I'm saying this to wake y'all the hell up. Now, let's get on to one of the bigger news stories of this week. We got to talk about this whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese situation where Caitlin Clark fouls Angel Reese and then Angel Reese acts like she wants to fight her. Now, once again, we have a sassy black woman ready to fight and claim racism all because she can't take what she dishes out. And honestly, I'm gonna just tell you like this, man. People are tired of it. Now, before I get into my commentary on this, I'd like to actually show you guys what happened, just in case some of you guys aren't up to speed. All right, so give me a second and we'll get to that. All right, let's get to that. All right, so this first video I'm going to show you is going to be what the main clip that they're showing people, right? Because they're leaving out a lot of context when you see this reported on most outlets. All right, so let's go back. Check this out. All right, so there we have it. There we have it, right? There we have it. Now, clearly she was just trying to foul her so she wouldn't get the easy basket. Simple foul happens all the time. All right, then Angel Reese goes and flops and acts like Clark tried to take her head off, right? Which is crazy to me. which is crazy to me considering they didn't even show the whole clip where Angel Reese just pushed another chick with 2 hands, fouled her, that didn't get called. Then she gets slightly fouled, and then she goes ballistic acting like she want to fight somebody, right? And if you don't believe me, let's go to that. I'm going to show you guys that clip so we can get a better understanding of what actually went on here. All right, so boom, look at this. Let's go back. See, look, boom, she pushes her, grabs the rebound. Look at that, push, grabs the rebound, and then she flops. This is crazy, bro. Look at this shit. You can't make this up, man. You really cannot make this up. You can't. All right, Reese actually pushed off on the other girl first, almost knocks her out of her socks, and then gets mad when she gets a slight, a little slight foul. It's crazy, man. And the worst part is, at least Caitlin Clark's foul was justified. All right, she was trying to stop her from scoring, getting the easy basket. All right, so there we have it, man. Now, granted, what's even crazier about this whole situation is that Chicago was down by like 14 points. All right, they were down by 14 points when this shit happened. So clearly, Angel Reese was in her feelings because they were getting their asses blown out. I think they ultimately ended up losing this game by 35 points. All right. But here's what the WNBA does though. Instead of checking all this, right? And just, chalking all this shit up to the game and leaving it on the court, the WNBA decides to launch an investigation into racism. That's right, racism. They're saying that racism caused this incident, and not because they finally realized how racist the league is and the left-wing media is towards Caitlin Clark. No, not that. They're launching an investigation on their own fans for allegedly using racial slurs against Angel Reese. And they're saying that's what ultimately caused her to flip out. They are literally launching an investigation into some alleged racial slurs that nobody heard, that only Angel Reese and the Chicago team heard, that caused Angel Reese to flip out and want to fight. Can't make this up. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you know the queens have too much influence on the WNBA. I mean, this is by far the epitome of zero accountability. I mean, the WNBA is already struggling with attendance league-wide. And now you're going to go and investigate the people who actually came out and spent their hard-earned money and their time to watch this shit show of a league. You're actually going to investigate them. This is wild, man. This is wild. And it's crazy, man, because the more they try to get this girl, Caitlin Clark, to break, and the more they try to undermine her impact on the league, she just keeps cooking their ass. She just keeps cooking their ass. Shout out to Kirk Keys. He said, timeout. Who is investigating racism? The WNBA. The WNBA, Kirk, is investigating the fans because she allegedly heard a racist, matter of fact, they said somebody deflated a balloon and they tried to say it was a monkey sound or some shit like that. But look up what I'm saying. The WNBA is actually looking into claims of racism in the crowd, which caused Angel Reese to flip out. No lie, bro. That's what they're saying. That's what they saying, man. But like I said, I think they just mad, man, because they keep trying to break this girl, Caitlin Clark, and she just keeps cooking their ass. She just keeps cooking them, and the queens, they can't stand it. Speaking of the queens, I got a clip right here. Here's Cheryl Swoop's hating ass with her take on it. And I want y'all to note, with this next video I play, I want y'all to note how the guys on the show finally check her BS. Okay, and this is what I mean when I say people are starting to get black queen fatigue. Okay, black queen fatigue is on the rise. All right, now this is a clip from Gil's Arena podcast. I think it's Kenyon Martin, Nick Young, Gilbert Arenas, and Cheryl Swoops. All right, let's get to that. Here we go.
Foul. I don't have an issue with the foul. I thought it was a hard foul.
Now, listen to what she's saying, because she's going to keep moving the goalposts, but listen to what she's saying. Let's go back.
I don't have an issue with the foul. I thought it was a hard foul. Yep, I thought the refs got it right, and to Angel's point, move on. My issue wasn't even with the foul, right? If you're going to foul somebody, I was always taught you don't give up an easy basket, period. And that's what I thought Caitlin did. My thing with that was, stand in it.
Stand on business.
Yeah,
Okay.
right? Don't walk away. My other issue.
Do you hear this stupidity? So Cheryl Swoop is saying, foul her and then stare her down, stand in it. Instead of doing the right thing by fouling her and walking away. Cheryl Swoop says you should stay. Her issue with this is that Caitlin Clark didn't stand in it. I'm telling you, they just be making shit up to be mad at Caitlin Clark about. She said she didn't have an issue with the foul because she would have did the same thing. But her issue is Caitlin Clark didn't stand in it. It's complete BS. Let's go.
I also have always been taught when I played, go grab your own teammate, don't come grab my teammate. So where Aaliyah Boston went over to Angel and was kind of like, we ain't gonna do that. To me, you gotta go get your own teammate. I didn't have.
So again, she's making up things to be mad about. The video I just showed y'all, okay? Angel Reese gets up like she wants to swing on Caitlin Clark. So why the hell would Caitlin Clark's teammate go grab her when there's a chick charging for her, acting like she want to swing? This doesn't even make any sense. This doesn't even make any sense, man. And like I said, she's just making up reasons to be mad at Caitlin Clark. Because the queens can't stand Caitlin Clark. I'm telling you, these women are worse than the white boys in the MLB before Jackie Robinson started playing. They worse.
I have a problem with the foul. I thought it was a hard foul. I thought the refs got it right, and then you keep on playing. I got issues with all the other stuff that came along with that, not that foul.
So Kenyon, familiar with these situations? I think you've always been, like Cheryl said, you grab your own teammate, because when you step in, things tend to happen when you try to mess with the opposing team's players. But
I'm sorry.
She was walking off.
But the other part of that is, where were Angel's teammates?
Caitlin was walking off, so there was no need for nobody to grab her.
But don't grab my teammate.
I dig that. I hear you in that regard, but there was no need for her to grab Caitlin. Caitlin was walking off.
But Aaliyah actually kind of
And Cardozo
shoved Angel a little bit.
pull Angel away.
I got no issue with none of it. It's just basketball soft as hell right now on both sides of it. There ain't no damn flagrant foul, man.
That's not a flagrant, it's a hard foul.
Damn flagrant foul.
Angel's push was a lot harder.
Yeah, well, it was. Not the initial part, but Caitlin later on pushed her. It was.
I'm talking about
the push before to get the
Angel's push on
They've called.
They just trying to get control of the game. That's not.
No, they weren't. No,
it's not.
They weren't trying. Listen, they've called softer flagrant fouls in the NBA.
I said it's all soft.
So that's a flagrant foul.
That's not a flagrant
foul. Okay.
Angel's foul right here. That was
harder.
No, Angel. She pushed her.
That's more.
But they didn't call that.
Howard in the back, two hands.
She did push her. They didn't call that.
Caitlin appears to be pointing out that call before.
You got to look at the different angle. The initial foul, I was like, no, it wasn't.
You don't think it's more of a flop?
No, I didn't think it was a flop.
And you feel like Caitlyn should have stood on business there?
Or it's just foul? Yeah.
Still on my business. So she ain't trying to fight. So
Somebody
what
that's
business y'all
strong,
want to
Wobble up, can you?
know what I mean?
Oh,
Somebody
fix
that's
it open.
solid.
No.
Somebody that's solid. That right there doesn't make them push. Like
Okay,
you gotta
so
open
then-
up. That's like the Embiid.
I'm just kidding.
That's that Embiid flop where I'm trying to sell this.
So here's
foul.
my thing. You're saying that's not a flagrant. And I think it depends on the angle and all those things.
Hard foul.
But my thing is, had Angel or anyone else done the exact same type of a foul to Caitlyn, the storyline is different.
Okay,
It is.
here's the problem.
No, it is.
with these.
Like, go back to last year though, Gil. Like, everybody was like, oh my God, they're trying to take Caitlyn out. No, like they were just hard fouls.
But it's still body size.
But the story, even from guards though.
What I'm saying is a guard, like if a guard, if I gotta try to foul him to stop him, my hit on him has to match his power. So if he's trying to go for the dunk, I gotta really grab on him to if I'm trying to go up, any hit from him, I'm hurt.
So is there not a rule, it's a question, of if you're not making a play on the ball, it's a flagrant?
Now she's trying to say that it's a flagrant foul because Angel Reese wasn't making a play on the ball. Because Caitlyn Clark wasn't making a play on the ball. And she just admitted at the beginning of this clip that Caitlyn Clark was making a play on the ball. She literally just admitted it. Now she's changing up her whole argument to say, yes, it should be a flagrant because Caitlyn Clark wasn't going for the ball, when clearly she was going for the ball because she stopped the score. This woman doesn't even mention the fact that Angel Reese clearly just committed a flagrant foul right before she got fouled by Caitlyn Clark when she pushed Caitlyn Clark's teammate halfway across the court. It's insane.
Come on.
That was a play on the ball, though. It was
just like
a swipe.
She didn't go for the ball.
You're holding the hole.
She didn't go for the ball.
So if I give you an and one, then what?
She didn't go for the ball.
So I'm supposed to give you an and one?
No, it's a hard foul.
Yeah, so it's not a flagrant.
But she didn't go for the ball.
Yes, she did.
Well, insane, bro. Insane. Again. Did y'all hear this woman? All right, you can see the vitriol for Caitlyn Clark in this woman's eyes. You can see it in her eyes, and you can also hear it in this woman's voice. Look at the total lack of logic, lack of reasoning, and accountability coming from Cheryl Swoops. Every time she gets proven wrong, she either moves the goalpost or she straight up acts like no one can clearly see what just took place. How in the hell was that not a play on the ball? All right, her initial statement was that she had no issue with the foul because you don't give away easy buckets. And then she later changes her stance and says it wasn't a play on the ball. Then she tries to make the argument that Caitlyn's teammate shouldn't have gone to hold back Angel Reese and that she should have went for Caitlyn, even though Caitlyn walked away. All right, that makes no sense, and I'm glad Kenyon Martin and them called her out because, clearly Caitlyn Clark wasn't in the wrong here. She fouled her to keep her from scoring. She went for the ball, and Reese got up like she wanted to attack. I mean, like I said, Cheryl Swoops, like many of these racist black queens, okay, they hate and are jealous of Caitlyn Clark. And that's why she couldn't find one good reason. She couldn't find one good reason to hate on her in this scenario, so she just altered reality to try to prove her point. All right? She just altered reality. That's what they do. But on a positive note, salute to those guys for not folding and telling it like it is, like real talk. Salute to them. Now, there was another brother who surprisingly stepped up to the plate to call it like it is this week. Real quick salute to RG3. RG3 came out the woodworks to give his take on the situation, and I think he was spot on. But of course, not only did the queens come for him, the pro-black simps also answered the call of duty. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna play RG3's take, and then we're gonna get to Ryan Clark. All right, so let's get to RG3. Give me a second. All right.
Guys, it's so obvious that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Guys, it's so obvious that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. If you don't know, let me inform you about what happened. Caitlin Clark committed a hard foul on Angel Reese as she was wide open for a free, easy layup. Routine play. Every one of you that's watching has heard your coach tell you, hey, we ain't gonna give them no easy points, no easy baskets in the paint, baby. So why do I think Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? It could be the fact that Aaliyah Boston had to save Angel Reese from ending her career. This is a still shot. After the foul that Caitlin Clark put on Angel Reese tried to hit her. But if it wasn't for Aaliyah Boston putting her arms in the way, Angel Reese would not be playing basketball anymore because she was gonna sucker punch Caitlin Clark. Now you tell me a time when you've seen somebody get fouled on a basketball court in a professional league where they tried to almost sucker punch somebody that they were friends with because of a hard foul. I've seen LeBron James get fouled by Dwayne Wade, but it was a hard foul. LeBron didn't get up and try to smack him upside the head or hit him in the face from behind, but that's what Angel Reese did to Caitlin Clark. So where was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? So after watching the play, I tweeted out, after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate.
All right, so real quick, that's part one. Let me go to part two real quick. And while I'm going to part two, do me a favor. If you're watching live on YouTube, Facebook, or X, hit that like button for me. Hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to comment in the live chat below. By liking the video and commenting in the live chat, you help us get this video off into the algorithm. All right, let's get to part two of our RG3.
The Connecticut Sun. Y'all remember that?
All right, let's go back.
So where was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? She got fouled so hard, they kicked Aaliyah Thomas out the game with a flagrant 2 foul. What did Angel Reese do? Nothing. She didn't get up and try to swing on her. You know why? The reaction was different because of who did it. And there is a lot of history there with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. You guys remember last year when Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter getting that flagrant foul on the hip check against Caitlin Clark? You remember that? On the sideline.
And let me make this note. RG3 is spitting nothing but facts, okay? Everything he's saying is factual. This is not based in his emotions and his feelings. He's spitting facts. All of these things occurred. Just make a mental note of that. All of these things actually occurred.
Just, yeah, baby, get her, you get her. Who celebrates like that for a flagrant foul on another player if they don't dislike that player? Okay, you want some more evidence? Here's some more evidence. Remember last year when they were talking about who gets the credit for the expansion and the eyeballs and the popularity boost of women's basketball, not just the WNBA, but women's basketball in general, because of the spike in the women's NCAA tournament and WNBA viewership. A lot of people were attributing that to Caitlin Clark, and rightfully so. This is what Angel Reese had to say, and I quote, "People are talking about women's basketball. You never would think they'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to the games. We got celebrities coming to the games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. Just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on to be that for my teammates. I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, the reason we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. I want y'all to realize that." Now, I heard a lot of people say that I or others have made Angel Reese the villain. Did you not just hear herself call herself the bad guy? She called herself the villain. I'm not making her the villain.
So, I mean, there we have it. There we have it. And like I said, this was a very surprising take from RG3 because normally he tends to be on the woke end of the spectrum when it comes to topics like this. However, he kept it a buck and he gave a solid take and actually backed it up with examples. All right. However, the pro-black simp of the year, none other than Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, he just couldn't give up this opportunity to pander to the queens yet again. I mean, you would think after that Andrew Schultz beatdown he took on his own show, he would learn to think these things through before he just jumps out the window with these wild takes. But clearly he hasn't. So, without wasting any more time, let's get to Ryan Clark's initial response to RG3. Give me a second. All right, so where's Ryan Clark at? Here we go, Ryan Clark.
Able to read the expressions of a person and know.
Right.
We moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train and now follows along.
At what point did RG3 seem angry or hateful? At what point? He's calling it play by play and giving real-time examples of why he has his take. Unlike Ryan Clark, who you'll see is only going to just try to virtue signal here. Everything he's saying is based on emotions and trying to pander to a certain group of people. He doesn't have any facts. He doesn't have any logic. And the reasoning behind what he's saying just doesn't add up to anything besides the fact that he's looking to pander. He's looking to grift. It's the same thing he did against Andrew Schultz. And Andrew Schultz came on his podcast and lit his ass up. All he could do was smile. All he could do was smile when Andrew Schultz lit him up. Anyway, let's go.
With what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story.
Right.
The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise.
Okay, I gotta stop this right here, okay? Because this sounds ridiculous. What exactly did Angel Reese have to deal with? What did Black women have to deal with exactly during Caitlin Clark's rise? What did they have to deal with? See, this is a prime example of why Black fatigue and what I call Black queen fatigue exist. This is an example right here. It's the constant victimization of yourself through delusional assumptions that everyone who disagrees with you who isn't black is automatically racist. It's getting old and no one's buying it except other delusional people who either happen to be black or people who are on the far end of the left-wing insane asylum. Let's continue.
It's an ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to a white.
See what I'm saying? He's going off on the deep end. None of this shit has anything to do with the basketball game or the things that we saw happen in the basketball game or the things that we saw happen in previous basketball games or statements that have been made from either player. None of this has anything to do with that. We'll go back a little bit, man, because I really want this to sink in.
He's dealing with. You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more.
Yo, it's crazy to me. It's so crazy to me how he can sit up here and say he acts like the color of her skin makes her special, when this is the same person who basically idolizes the color of black women's skin. And I'm not saying that anything's wrong with that. I'm not saying it's right either. But just for context, he's always idolizing certain women's skin. As a matter of fact, black culture in general idolizes skin. There's a whole program called Black Girls Rock. Not all girls rock, or young girls rock, or old girls rock, or American girls rock. It's Black Girls Rock. There's a whole slogan out here that black people use called Black Girl Magic. So it's acceptable to have black girl magic, but it's not acceptable to have white girl magic. This is what is fueling the fatigue. It's the constant victimization and the hypocrisy. It's either you want racism eradicated or you don't. If you want racism eradicated, that means you can't practice racism either. Me personally, I'm a fan of racism. I could care less. It doesn't bother me. If you want to say racist things to me, as long as I can say them back to you, we'll have a good time talking shit. Shout out to Lord Destro Productions. He says, but RG3's sister is black, so I'm sure he understands a black woman's perspective. Facts. His mother's black, his sister's black, his aunties are black. But what does that have to do? That shit still ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man. It's like Ryan Clark is, like I said, he's beyond the pale when it comes to pandering. He is beyond the pale.
More than that. But it also leads to what black women deal with a lot from black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over black women by denigrating black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that.
At what point did RG3 denigrate black women? At what point? At no point at all did RG3 denigrate any black women. Like I said, it's the constant victimizations and the assumptions. They're making assumptions that RG3 is trying to denigrate black women by just because his wife is in the background. Just seeing a white woman in the background, if that triggers you, something is wrong with you. The hate lies within you by the mere sight of a person is triggering you. Something's wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with them. They're having a good time in their basement, doing their podcast, talking shit. Shout out to Lord Destro again. He says, I believe Ryan Clark is a racial agent provocateur. Is there on ESPN to cause chaos? Definitely. I definitely agree with that. I mean, that's all he does, man. All right, let's finish this clip out.
And understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlin Clark is as well. Caitlin Clark is a likable and lovable superstar. She pays homage to the stars of the past. She pays homage to the black women that have come before her. And now she is carrying the mantle forward. So there's no need to pin those two against each other and paint them based on stereotypical tropes. And I think this is what I'd like RG3 to know, that no matter how much he continues to echo the microaggressions of racists, he'll be no less black than me.
Hold up. My God, man. My God. Oh, man. And there we have it, man. There we have it. This was a super reach by Ryan Clark. A super reach. All right. He turned a simple conversation about basketball into his quarrels with people who date outside their race. All right. None of the shit he just whined and crined about is relevant at all. All right. Me personally, I'm married to a black woman. She's never once came to me crying about the struggles of being a black woman. I mean, who actually does that? Who actually does that? Like, seriously, bro, you're a multi-millionaire. Cut the shit. As a black woman, your wife doesn't have any struggles. And if she does, they probably have nothing to do with being black and more to do with being married to you. And I'll tell you something else. You know what baffles me? You know what truly baffles me about these race-baiting celebrities? This is what truly baffles me. They wanna call out all black men for being married to white women. Right? They want to call you out for being married to a white woman, right? These are the same Negroes. These are the same Negroes who swore up and down. And these are the same Negroes who would question your blackness if you didn't vote for Kamala Harris.
The first of his name.
If you didn't vote for Kamala Harris, these are the same niggas who would question your blackness. They swore up and down that we should vote for Kamala Harris because she's black. But then they'll turn around and say a black man isn't black just because he has a white wife. Make this shit make sense. Kamala Harris is married to a Jewish man, and she's possibly maybe 1/8 black, possibly. But according to people like Ryan Clark and the 92% of the queens, we're supposed to automatically vote for Kamala. But let a black man be married to a white woman and all of them got something negative to say about it. So we're supposed to take Ketanji Brown Jackson, Maya Angelou, Serena Williams, Kamala Harris, Meghan Markle. We're supposed to take all of them seriously. But somehow people like RG3, Byron Donald, and Saquon Barkley aren't valid because they're married to white women. it's a racist double standard. And people can see right through it. And that's why, rightfully so, Ryan Clark is getting dragged up and down on social media for this egregious take on RG3. The only place he's not getting dragged is Baller Alert. Baller Alert is the only place he's not getting dragged. But, I mean, once again, though, salute to RG3. That was a great take. We'll get to some of these comments. My man Rio on YouTube says, facts. Thank you, sir. He says, all of a sudden, I hate my mom just because I ain't vote for Kamala. Facts. John Collins says, rich black folks always talk about having talks about this, about politics, about police, but I bet none of them really talk. They just say crap on TV. Facts. Facts. Brandon Harris, shout out to B. What's up, B? He says, slow down, bro. RG3 didn't keep it basketball. He based it on how he perceived Angel's personal feelings were towards Clark. I mean, okay. RG3 didn't bring race into it. RG3 just literally brought up the facts. He brought up the fact that every other time that Angel Reese was fouled hard, and might I add, fouled way harder than she got fouled the other day when she flopped on Caitlin Clark. She didn't get up ready to fight. She didn't get up ready to fight. She got up ready to fight when it was Caitlin Clark who fouled her. And she flopped. So imagine faking like you fell on a foul and getting up acting like you weren't ready to fight. We can all see through that, bro. Come on, man. And I know you smarter than this. All right, then he says, I can't say he won't be valid, but I know RG3 ain't a real brother. How is he not a real brother? What makes you a real brother? That's what I'm saying. People make statements like that. What makes him not a real brother? And first of all, why would he even care what any of us think about him being a real brother? If I'm RG3, I got tens of millions of dollars in the bank. I don't give a fuck about being a real brother. On God. I mean, at this point in life, I don't even know what even constitutes as that anymore. What constitutes that? Rio says, let's not forget Angel Reese started the beef in college. Facts. Appreciate the comments. Let's keep them going. Also, fellas, what I might do, I might go ahead and put the link in the chat. So if anybody wants to call in and actually give their 2 cents, they can do that. They can definitely do that. All right, so that's what Ryan Clark had to say, and RG3 had a comeback. RG3 had a comeback. Okay? And I can't even lie. Once again, I wholeheartedly agree with what he had to say back to Ryan Clark. I think he made sense. All right, so let's get to that. Let's get to RG3's comeback for Ryan Clark. All right, here we go.
About my sports take. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy RG3, and I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys because there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of conversations about my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, which was purely based in basketball. But I think all of you know there's a line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits, and Ryan Clark has sprinted past that line. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game. Sports media, I'm gonna have an opinion. This person might not agree with it. That person might not agree with it. But what you don't do is turn around and personally attack me and my family just because you don't agree with a sports opinion that is purely based off the sport. I didn't make it personal. But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is. But Ryan, you crossed the line, man. You made it personal and some. I really believe there should be no space in sports media for personal attacks. I've said it before. But certainly personal attacks against wife and children have always been off limits. Brian, you attacked me and my family in a public forum on a level that shows just how low of a human being you are. You can disagree with me all you want. Challenge my takes, but keep my family and my wife out of it. That's a boundary that should always be respected, man. Always. Ryan Clark personally attacking me and my family because he disagreed with my sports opinion is a bad look for ESPN. It's cowardly, it's spineless, and it's weak. Ryan Clark personally attacking me and my family. Personally because he disagreed with my sports opinion is a bad look for him as a man. I hope you get the help you need, brother.
Yo, I gotta cut that one as a hot take, man. I hope you get the help you need, brother. Facts. Oh shit. Oh my God, that was hilarious, man. And there we have it, yo. RG3. Honestly, RG3 couldn't have said it any better. He didn't get emotional. He didn't get upset. He didn't start calling him out and acting like he wants to fight or any of that. He stuck to the facts and he kept it respectful. Now, what I want to do real quick before we move on to the next subject is I want y'all to look at Ryan Clark's responses to what RG3 said. Keep in mind, RG3 kept it respectful. He kept it factual. He kept it dignified and respectful. And this is Ryan Clark's response. All right, let's go to Ryan Clark's response. So Ryan Clark says, he says, bruh, you know what it is with me and you, exclamation point. I saved you the entire season on Monday Night Football. I urge people to let you be you. No matter how corny, how bad a teammate you were, I had your back. What did you do? Invite someone on your show who you know I don't fool with to ask questions about me, and then hit me weeks later to tell me you're going to challenge one of my takes. You're a phony, bro. One of the worst teammates I ever had, both on the field and in TV. You got to do what you got to do. I didn't attack your wife. I spoke on what you do on social media and TV. Like I said, I met your wife and she seemed like a lovely lady that was worth more than the color of her skin. Then he says, in no way tripping on any of it. No, I know exactly who I am, what I said, why I said it, and who I said it for. I can live with everything else. So, I mean, that's that. Ryan Clark has once again gotten destroyed for unnecessarily crashing out for the Keishas and the Queens. Okay? and let me know what y'all think in the live chat, in the comment section below, if you're watching on the playback. Also, do me a favor, once again, y'all, do me a favor. If you're on YouTube, X, Facebook, or Instagram, if Instagram might not even be up no more, but hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button. Tap that notification bell and select all. All right. Now we're going to move on to this last subject of the night. We got, this will be interesting. This will be interesting. Let me see. Let me go ahead and find it real quick. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, up next, we got to talk about this Van Lathan and Joy Taylor interview. It's been the cause for some passionate debate throughout the social media world, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight because it's definitely ties into tonight's topic. And that's the Black Queen fatigue that is starting to gain a lot of traction. All right. Now, in case you aren't up to speed with Joy Taylor, she is currently involved in a scandal at FS1 where she is being accused of allegedly having an affair with her boss and plotting to set him up for sexual misconduct claims. All right, this is according to a former friend and colleague at FS1 who she told about her plot, right? And this same girl is the one who's suing Skip Bayless. All right. So the lady also says that Joy was sleeping with everybody at FS1, including her co-host, Emmanuel Acho. All right. Now, recently, Joy Taylor was on a podcast with the all-time beta male champ of the world, Van Lathan. And they had some interesting takes on the direction that America's going in relation to femininity. All right? So give me a second. Let me get this video up. You guys will enjoy this. This is completely ridiculous. This is one of the most ridiculous conversations I've heard in a while. But anyway, we're going to get to it. Let's go. Oh, real quick, let me respond to Brandon Harris. He says he definitely didn't get destroyed. You're definitely out the loop. 80% of the public has been siding with RC. 80% of what public? Bro, I don't just be on Black Twitter, fam. And that's no disrespect, Brandon. I don't just be on Black Twitter. I be on everybody's Twitter. And on everybody's Twitter, everybody is leaning on Ryan Clark. The only people who are backing Ryan Clark are black women and black men who happen to like to simp for black women. Those are the only people. You literally have 80%. You said 80% of the public has been sliding with RC. No, 80% of 13% of the population has been sliding with Ryan Clark. 80%. So 10% of Twitter is riding with Ryan Clark. The other 90 is not. FYI, they are not. Oh man. All right, let's go. Come on, we're on a new topic. I'll put the link in the YouTube joint and you can call in as soon as we finish this topic and we can discuss it. No big deal, bro. We can discuss it. But you definitely wilding, bro. 80% of Twitter is not against RG3. All right, so let's get to this interview. All right, here we go.
Of course not.
Do you think that America is trying to be better?
Of course not. No.
Yeah, I don't either. I think there's also a massive attack on femininity. Like the idea is that masculinity is actually what's being attacked, right? Like everything is watered down, everything is softened now. Everything is feminine. I actually think femininity is under control. I think that a big part of the reason why this is happening is because women got too close to power.
Okay, how so?
The audacity that a black woman would run for president. I mean, this was their last stand. They're like, hold on, listen, we let you in boardrooms, we let you get credit cards. Running for president is too much audacity for us. When you have like cute aggression, when you see something that's like so cute, you just start spazzing out. They had like audacity aggression. Like, how the fuck could you do this?
Yeah.
She's supposed to fucking stay in line. Yeah. There's too many bitches. Get them out of here. And that's what it's really about. So the rolling back of women's rights and this push that women have somehow created this world where there's too much equality and we can make choices about when we have children, and marriage rates are dropping because nobody wants to fucking deal with a cheating alcoholic man when you can just get your own apartment.
Yeah.
Guys are lonely. Men in these fucking caves that would never touch a woman in their life anyway have convinced themselves that OnlyFans models are curving them because they sent them $5.
Yeah.
You know, it is this attack on femininity. It's not about masculinity.
Right. But let me ask you a question about the incels. Do you think the incels, do you care about the loneliness of the incel?
I think that male loneliness is a massive fucking problem.
Okay, so
I think non-pussy getting male lonelies are deteriorating society. Yes, I think it's a massive problem.
What do you think the fix
One,
is?
I think we should legalize prostitution.
Okay.
I have been standing on this for.
All right, and we're going to stop her right there. All right, do y'all hear this shit? Do y'all hear this shit? This is the reputation of black women in 2025. Okay? Here you have a woman who literally slept her way to the top of FS1 programming, bragging about the accomplishments of women as if they could actually earn them the same way men do without the help of men. This is literally some of the most ridiculous shit I've heard in my life. It's women like her that inspire Islamic countries to operate the way they operate. And I can't blame them. I can't blame them. The audacity of these women to talk crazy about men the way they talk, when without us, they wouldn't have any of the luxuries that they enjoy in America today. They wouldn't have any of these luxuries. If it wasn't men who fought in any of these wars, if it wasn't for us, where would they be? What kind of country would this be if we didn't go to wars and fight for it? It wasn't women who fought in any of those wars. It wasn't women who dug the ditches for the railroads and power grids. It wasn't women who laid all the piping in the ground so that we could have clean plumbing. I could go on and on all day. Y'all literally just hopped in the workforce en masse 50 years ago after the infrastructure was already laid out. And instead of signing up for the jobs that keep America moving, y'all went straight for the office jobs. Like literally, it burns me up to hear these 304s talking crazy like this. All right, this woman is one of the highest, she's on one of the highest rated shows on television. Okay? And is advocating for the legalization of prostitution. This is your proud representative of the black queens. This is disgusting. Also, when it comes to men not having realistic expectations, as far as sex and partners, man, I think she's really off when it comes to that. I think she's really off when it comes to that. Anyway, let's let her cook.
For decades, and I think that prostitution should be legalized.
Okay.
They will never do this, but that I think would be a massive solve.
Massive solve. Okay.
One.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Ask follow-ups.
No. Follow-up is what, because that's a temporary loneliness fix, although it's effective. What would be a long-term fix to bringing people back together? What do you think?
Okay. So while it's a temporary fix, right? And many people will have some retorts to this, of course. It's not a simple solve. Mm-hmm. But I believe that straight male biology and particularly men who have this sort of anger, is because they don't get physical intimacy, right? But they have convinced themselves the type of physical intimacy they would like is, their favorite porn star or favorite OnlyFans girl or this unattainable beauty on Instagram who is never, ever, ever, ever going to fuck you or meet you or talk to you ever. So they don't look for the physical intimacy that is around them. They don't go outside of their home. They don't go down to the local library. They don't go to their local bar. They don't go join a social group in order to meet people because they feel that this fucking beautiful 10, whatever, is going to walk through their fucking front door and suck their dick. And that's never going to happen. But they sit there scrolling like, hey, in the DMs. And they believe then that the women are not responding to them because of feminism.
Wait a minute. So are you telling me that when the pizza guy shows up to the door?
Yeah, I don't suck his dick, actually.
I mean, but that's not real. That doesn't happen.
No. I know.
Bro, this is wild. This is coming from the lady that literally, allegedly screwed everybody at her job to get where she is now. This is coming from her.
Setups and porns are insane.
But
and you buffer pass. You buffer pass.
But I don't.
You buffer pass or not?
Well, I buy porn, so I don't. I'm a porn buyer, so I don't. So like it, I get.
So you have to get your money.
I get my shit in the top quality, like.
All right, and that's enough of that, man. They about to get my whole stream shut down talking crazy like that, man. But so honestly, man, I think she's got it the other way around. I think she's got it the other way around. Men, for the most part, have very realistic outlooks on what we deserve in a relationship and what we should expect sexually from women. All right, we're very realistic. It's women who are the ones who are delusional. Okay, you've got short, fat, and broke women out here who expect to be in committed relationships with a tall, rich, fit man. Or at least 2 out of the 3, right? It's the women who think they can sleep around throughout their 20s, have illegitimate kids all over the place, and then find the perfect guy when they're 35 years old. It's women who think that. The problem is that feminism is of the devil, and that's literally what fooled these women into thinking they could operate like men. Feminism has literally disrupted the sexual ecosystem to the point where there are a lot of men who could care less about being in a committed relationship because either A, every chick they know has been ran through, or B, every chick they know has kids all over the place, or C, a combination of both A and B. Now, real quick, just to give you guys a better idea of the type of woman that Joy Taylor is, I want y'all to check out this clip from a podcast that she did earlier this month. All right? Check this out. I don't want y'all to think I'm just wilding like this woman is insane.
If we get, I'm also like, I say this tenderly because I'm 38 fucking years old. So yeah, like I've been working for 20 years. I'm a professional adult.
So we can cut off a lot of dudes if you dating, you're not dating, whatever, but like Future, what's the age limit?
Age limit?
As far as youth to older. What's the youngest to the oldest? Like what's your range?
Damn, I'm telling myself right now. I would say right now, at my age right now. Yeah, I would not date younger than 25, 26.
Why are you laughing?
Why is that funny?
No, because I thought she was going to be on
I thought you would say.
I thought she was going to be on some like 35 to 57.
Me too.
Oh no, I mean I don't think I could. I don't know. I'm not gonna get up here and lie. Okay, young men are very aggressive and they do not care how old I am.
Wait, but Joy, I have to ask you because this is a whole thing with women.
25
where they're saying
is a
that these young
grown
men
man.
are really.
25 is grown. I agree.
They're saying
Nah, you ain't about to have me out here on some bullshit. 25 25 is a grown ass
They're
man.
saying 25-year-old men are where it's at. All the older women, that's what I'm trying to say. The women that I've been talking to, like in their 30s, late 30s, they're like, yo, is our, like these younger men, they come, they're intentional, they come with it. They're like not playing around. They want to date you. They like treat you like you're a goddess. They appreciate you. They talk life into you. Like I am hearing that these younger men from all these women, they are where it's at. I've never dated a younger man before. No, I've never wanted to.
They're telling
but
the truth.
At this point, they're talking about.
Is this the truth after dark? They're telling the truth.
All right, and so let's pause right there, right? First of all, shout out to the younger men that are under 30. Shout out to y'all. Let me tell you how pitiful this woman is, right? Now, I can remember when I was 25 years old, 25, 24, 26, right? Myself and my peers, every time we ran across a woman pushing 40, every time we ran across one of those type of women, it was a lick. I mean, yeah, she might have some, something good going on down under, right? But for the most part, she gonna take you out to eat. She gonna buy you some Jordans. She gonna let you sleep up in her crib. All you gotta do is keep blowing her back out. You 25 years old, so you can go all day, 4 or 5 rounds a night. But at 25, 26, what substance are most men even worth? See, the problem with her is she's been so ran through that the guys on her level, right? The guys who are making the type of money that she's making don't want to deal with her. Because when you're making that type of money, you don't have to lower your standards to a woman that's been ran through, to a woman that's almost 40 years old, to a woman that can't have none of your kids. If you want to start a legacy, you can't do none of that with her. She's 38. So she's forced to go and deal with young dudes that don't have nothing. I guarantee you the part she's not saying is that she's the one paying for the dates and the trips that she's taking with these 25-year-old men. I guarantee you she's the one. And if she is dating 25-year-old men who actually have a little money, they're probably rappers or younger ballers who are just running through her. That's all it is. I mean, this woman used to be married. She was married to a older white guy, as a matter of fact, not too long ago. He wasn't 25. Lucky for him, he dropped her like a bad habit. But yeah, when you hear these women, these older women pushing 40, sitting up here talking about they want to deal with 25-year-old men, I'm not hating on the young 25-year-old brothers, bro. Go date her. You probably get a trip to Aruba out of it. You get a fresh Amiri hat, maybe an Amiri shirt. You get something out of it. Just put that work in. But this is the life. This is the life that they brag about. Let's go.
This is what I'm hearing. And even
but I don't like it's 20. I don't want to be clear here because I don't like 25 is a grown man.
It's a grown man. Okay. You're not about
to have me on some bullshit.
What about it? What else is non-negotiable for you?
I'm less and less interested in religious men, if I'm being honest with you. I told Paul this the other day. I don't know. You hit me with the man of God thing. But
you say God a lot on your podcast.
God?
Yeah, you be like, God, oh my God.
Oh my God. No.
Oh my God is different.
Oh my God is different than being a man of God. If you're leading, I don't know. I've just had some. I've had some negative experiences with people that lead with their religion.
Are you religious?
Not really. No. So I would say I'm a person of faith, but I'm not. I was raised in a Baptist church, very, very religious family. I don't think that just because you're a Christian that you are, not living a good life. I'm just saying if that's the first thing that you bring to the table, it's a red flag for me because I don't
they're hiding behind their.
Real quick, shout out to John Collins. This is a good point. He says, guys don't want women who talk and act like men. When I watch sports, I don't want my lady in the room. When I mow the grass, I don't want my lady with me. Women need to be women, not men. Facts. That is a fact. That is something that we teach all the time on this show. Brandon Harris says, hold on, bro. I'm not co-signing most of the shit she said, but again, you're kind of out the loop, especially at the millennial level. It's a lot of cats. Their whole life is the internet and social media. I mean, bro, I'm a millennial. So, I mean, I'm definitely hip to what's going on at the millennial level. For sure. But, I mean, I hear you. And like I said, I'm getting ready to post the link. So, I'll let you call in and, you know what I'm saying? If you got a little time and you want to, you know what I mean, get your point across, I'll let you do that, bro. All right. Let's finish this video out.
I don't care. Why? What does this matter to
happened
me?
with that before. That's what that happened.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have a trigger behind that.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I absolutely.
yeah.
I'm acknowledging. I'm triggered by this, and it's it's become a red flag for me.
Wow.
I'm not saying that if you believe in God that you are a red flag. I also don't give a fuck. So just tell somebody else about it. I think for some men they think that that's what women are looking for, like looking for a good Christian man.
Yeah.
And some people are, but just not me. So
that's my thing about religion too. Like, like man may not like lead with it, but like some men needed to pull them out of places. Like when there's nothing else. Like I felt like religion like pulled me out of some dark places. And like I believe
religion or faith.
Faith, probably faith,
right?
More so than like
because to me those are two different
faith.
things.
Okay,
believing in God, having spirituality, having a connection with your spiritual side. Praying, all those things I do.
Yeah.
But
same, but religion is different.
To lead with like, you know, like let's go to church on Sunday.
I'm Christian, I'm Catholic, I'm, you know, Baptist, whatever it is, that's like your religion. Versus I'm a man of faith because I pray, I believe in a higher power.
But also for me,
to my
I
spirituality.
feel like a lot of people a lot of men that are extremely religious think that if we get together that I'm going to start doing that. And like, I'm not.
I'm telling you, bro. These hoes are the devil, bro. They're the devil, and they don't mind being the devil, man. And the crazy thing is, this woman talking about red flags, she's literally a walking, talking red flag. She's been married already and got caught cheating. Not only was she cheating, she was cheating with her co-workers. I mean, you can't make this shit up. It's always the lowest women with the highest requirements. Let me say that one more time. It's always the lowest quality women with the highest requirements. All right, and this is why women like her will continue to be pumped and dumped up until the point where their youthful looks fade. And then it's raining cats and dogs until death do her ass part. But anyways, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to post the link on the YouTube. I'm going to post the link. And then if anybody wants to call in and give their 2 cents, we can have the conversation. All right? Give me a second. Let me post the link. All right. So the link is posted. We're going to pin that to the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to a brief commercial break. And while we're on this commercial break, I want y'all to go ahead and hit that link if you want to call in, and then we'll get the conversation going. All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah, my son so dumb, my son so dumb. Yeah. My son so dumb, IQ 21. He tried to make friends, but they call him Ching Chong. He eat the wonton, but he fat like Kim Jong. He's so ugly when he smile, he look like the King Kong. My son useless, can't play ping pong. He tried to get a date with the girl Soo Young, but she said hell no, cause he not that handsome. And my son so broke, can't buy the dim sum. Yeah. My son so dumb, my son so dumb. Yeah. My son is so dumb, yeah. He texts Mingly, but she picked me. Too bad he broke, can't buy the milk tea. If he talk back to me, then he get his ass beat. Cause if you try me, then I do the Tai Chi. Just listen to your mommy and go eat the kimchi. Or I sell your kidney for $2.50. Do not think I forgot you got being Chinese. Ancestor look down on you, go say sorry. Yeah, 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 yeah. My son so dumb, my son so dumb. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My son is so dumb, yeah. My son's so dumb, IQ 21. He tried to make friends, but they call him Ching Chong. He eat the wonton, but he got like Kim Jong. He's so ugly when he smile, he look like the King Kong. My son useless, can't play ping pong. He tried to get a date with the girl so young, but she said hell no, cause he not the handsome. And my son so broke, can't buy the dim sum. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My son so dumb, my son so dumb, yeah, yeah, yeah. My son is so dumb, yeah.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos fresh, fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And it looks like we don't have any callers. I really thought Brandon Harris was going to call in. I really wanted to argue with him tonight. Respectful, friendly argument, you know that. But no big deal, man. So I'm just going to go ahead and close out the show. So listen, whether you agree, you disagree, or you're indifferent, do me a favor, especially if you're watching the playback, comment your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell twice, and then select all. And oh yes, always remember, tripping ain't easy, but somebody's got to do it. Peace out. Catch you on the next one.